Okay, so we're going to be starting with the free body diagram of the car wheel. Here we have force normal, force gravity, and force of static friction. The reason it is static friction is because the wheel is not moving relative to the road, but the static friction is causing it to turn. So we're going to be using a combination of kinematics and forces to solve for the coefficient of static friction. So first we're going to rearrange the first equation to solve for acceleration of the car.
Alright guys, here for the test portion, so I'm just gonna, it's in drive right now, I'm gonna take my foot off the brake, let it roll to about 6 or 7, tap the brake, shift into neutral, and we're going to let it roll. So right now the car is in neutral, foot is nowhere near the brake, and we are just casually rolling along the speed. The speedometer isn't too accurate, so I'm using Waze instead. And it looks like we are just about to come to a stop. Alright, the car is now stopped. I'm just going to shift it apart, measuring where the front of the car is. So we're going to say about this line here. 7, 8.
Okay, so at this post, I followed what Praba did and put my car on neutral, and then it ended right here. So that is approximately 1.5 parking spaces. Praba's car traveled 8 parking spaces approximately, and mine traveled 1.5 approximately. The thing is, my car is actually way heavier than Praba's, and distance and mass are proportional. So the problem with that is that we don't really understand which car has a higher coefficient of friction just from those statistics. We actually have to do the calculations, and Sofiya is going to show you how to do that.
Okay, so using the equation that we derived earlier, essentially all we have to do is divide the acceleration of the car by gravity. So here are the calculations for each of the cars. We used the mass, displacement, and initial velocity to find acceleration of the first car, and then plug that into here to find that the static friction coefficient was 0.0616. For the second car, the coefficient of static friction was 0.309. So essentially the second car wins the race because they had the higher coefficient of static friction.
Unfortunately, we had a couple of sources of error. For example, we didn't account for heat generated or wind resistance on the car. In addition, we weren't entirely sure whether the pavement was flat, as this may have an effect on our results. Plus, the speedometers in our cars weren't exactly too accurate, so we tried to use the Waze app, but we're still not sure exactly how precise it is. We did consider a couple things, however, including tire type. My car had all seasons, and Steph's had winters, so we knew this would affect our results, but we weren't entirely sure how. In addition, while calculating the mass of the cars, we also included the weight of the person sitting inside the car to get the most accurate result. Along the lines of accuracy, we also ran 3 trials each and averaged the distance traveled to make sure that our experiment was as valid and as accurate as possible.